So now we're going to talk about opportunity zones and how you can take advantage of them as an investor, or how an investor can take advantage of being able to do what you want to do as far as going into certain neighborhoods and increasing prices, but be fair, because you can get tax write-offs. You can write off some of this stuff so you don't have to increase the rent so much. An opportunity zone, by definition, is a program created during the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act to revolutionize economically distressed communities through private investment as opposed to taxpayer dollars. Opportunity zones have now been designated in all 50 states. So if you're in a particular state, figure out the zip codes where the opportunity zones are. It's gonna more so be in the neighborhoods that I'm talking about right now. So if you know those areas, which most people should know, if you live in the city, I hope you know some of the worst parts to go so you don't go there. But secondly, from a standpoint of if you want to get into real estate, this is going to be the best place for you to start, because the prices are going to be a lot lower than you trying to start out in an affluent neighborhood. So I'm going to give you the time horizon for opportunity zones so you know what that 10-year run looks like, because I honestly think it's gonna expire in 2029, but I honestly think that they're going to extend it even more because it just makes so much sense. So year 1 through 5, you can roll over any capital gains into an opportunity fund to defer the tax gain. What that means is if you flip a property, it's almost like a 1031 exchange. You can roll over your capital gains into an opportunity fund so you can invest into another property without having to pay taxes on that money. Generally, if you have capital gains tax, it's going to be about 25 to 35% of what you have to pay on the gains. So for an example, what I just gave you guys before, that 350 and that 150, if you find a property for 150 and you turn around and sell it for 350, you're going to have to pay taxes on that $200,000, because that's the gain between what you paid for it and what you've increased the equity into the property. So you're going to have to pay the taxes on that $200,000. So that could be 25 or 35%. That's a lot for you to have to pay to the government for them not doing anything. And this is why I think opportunity zones are great for people that are trying to get into real estate. It's almost like a 1031 exchange, but it's a little bit different as far as tax code and what you kind of got to do for with the funds. I'm not a CPA, and you can ask one of those what you got to do as far as that goes. Once you get to year 5, deferment of payment of capital gains until December 31st, 2026. So again, that's kind of coming up to the timeline for people that started back then, but they're gonna extend it. I'm sure they are. When 2026 hits, reduction of taxes owed by up to 15% after 7 years. That's huge. If it goes back to what I just said, instead of you paying 25 or 35%, now you only got to pay up to, you get 15% off, basically. And then once you get to year 10, 0 tax on gains earned at all. That's crazy. So like, to be able to buy a property, and if you're trying to build a portfolio out, you're going to be in it for at least 10 years. So you can see how this is an amazing opportunity for people who want to get into real estate. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much the property costs. There's no minimum investment. It's just you being able to go into these neighborhoods, find properties that could be worth $40,000 or $50,000 and do what I just said. It's a win-win. So you don't have to be like, I need a lot of money. No, you can partner up with your friends or get a group of people that you know and create an opportunity zone fund. So this is what I think you should be doing. And we all have an issue with gentrification, which makes sense based on everything that I just said, because some people don't have the ability. Some people don't have the money. Sometimes there are a bunch of old people that lives in these neighborhoods who can't do what I just said. And that's why I think it's on the investor or the person going into this neighborhood to take advantage of the opportunity zone so they can not displace this old person. You know what I mean? But there's gotta be advantages on both sides. And so again, this is why I said I can see it from both sides. I grew up in it. I go there all the time. My family still lives in the hood, depending on where they are. So I get it. But I also understand from the perspective of I'm putting my money into a property to make it better for you. I'm changing this entire neighborhood to make it better for everybody. Even though we're going to have some wealthier people coming in, that doesn't change the fact that the people that are living here now are going to be able to take advantage of it as well. So don't see it as a bad thing. Look at it. I always talk about reframing from a mindset perspective. Reframe how you look at gentrification and see it from all sides and see how you yourself can take advantage of it and do your own thing. Go into a neighborhood. Maybe you don't have the money right now, but get together with someone so you can be a person who is doing tenant improvements for someone and leaving them in the house and doing the exact opposite of what's going on right now and why people have an issue with this particular word. You know what I mean? So I'm going to show you all a map. This is the economic disparity between opportunity zones and other areas. Look at this. It doesn't matter where you are in the 50 states. There is a zone that you can take advantage, even if you're investing out of state. You know, we're looking in Oklahoma right now. I mentioned that as far as one of my partners or the group that I'm a part of, we're investing in Oklahoma. And the prices there are like $65, $75, $80,000. My friend just left Nebraska. We just got done having a Zoom call with people that are in Nebraska. The beautiful thing about opportunity zones and the plan that I'm sharing with you all is that every neighborhood, you might have heard about group homes or something like that. If you get an opportunity zone property and you fix it up to the point of where you can just rent it out to a person who might be challenged in a different way. If you don't know about group homes, look up different group homes on how you can place people in a government or pay you. So for example, we're about to start doing group homes in Oklahoma and Nebraska, Arizona, and parts of San Diego. And you can get $1,300. You can get $1,300 per person who's staying in your property. So if you can find a property, like I just mentioned, if you live somewhere else and you pay $65,000 or $70,000, you put $15,000 into it and you fix it up, you can get a tenant in there paying $1,300 a month on a property that's $75,000 or $80,000. Your mortgage is probably going to be $800. So don't worry about what if I get a property and I can't get someone to stay in it because it's in a particular neighborhood. There's always going to be a person. People are always going to need somewhere to stay. And then when you have programs that I just mentioned that the government are funding, you can easily get something like that. So I might do a whole podcast on group home. I might do a whole episode on group homes with a friend of mine so we can break down the process. If you want me to do something like that, leave it in the comments below. But I'm going to break down a strategy on how you can find properties in these opportunity zones, take advantage of the tax benefits, and then get money from the government. So the government will throw money at things that they need done, but they don't want to do it or they don't have the funds to do it. The government doesn't have any money, right? They're running a $2 trillion deficit right now. But do we need more housing? Yes, we do. Mental health issues on the rise? Yes, it is. So if you can find properties in areas that I just mentioned, it's a win-win. And people always wonder, how do people not pay taxes? God, they do real estate. They do things like I just mentioned on finding properties like this, doing 1031 exchanges, keeping that property, going and getting into a group home situation and you put someone in it, and then boom, you're getting paid by the government to pay off your house. And then you did it in an opportunity zone where you don't have to pay any taxes. And then you did a 1031 exchange where you roll those funds into another property. So you're basically going to keep buying real estate for free for as long as you want. So again, this is why I'm so big on opportunity zones. This is why I'm so big on real estate. And this is why I just wanted to shoot a video on gentrification. And it's not a bad thing per se. As you can see, there's ways around it. There's benefits. So I'm going to put this link in the description below. If not, go to the investfar.com website, look for the opportunity zones, and you'll see this there. Become an investor if you want. Invest with us. And there's a guide at the bottom of it. I'll put a link to that as well, or you can just go to the website and you can download the guide. It'll get sent to you, or you can just download it. But anyway, look at it differently. Reframe how you look at gentrification. Reframe how you look at real estate. Take advantage of the opportunities that come up. And until next time, take care.